Welcome, friend.
Before we begin, take a moment, get comfortable in your space. Pull your blanket a little closer. The space around you is safe. It's warm and controlled by you, your walls, your heating, your choices. But for a little while, consider something. Humans have always needed to understand one thing.
How do you remain alive when warmth doesn't come easily?
How do you exist when the world's cold?
How do you learn to live somewhere not designed for you? This knowledge goes very far back.
People have always faced winters. They've always faced cold, challenging their survival. In medieval Europe, some people faced this alone, far from villages and towns, far from the comfort of community,
Far from anything that resembled home.
Tonight we're going to sit with that,
We're going to understand what it felt like.
to gradually adapt to harsh conditions, to slowly learn how to live, to exist in a place that was never meant to feel like home.
This is not a story of drama.
This is not about desperate struggle. This is about what happens when someone learns. Day by day they exist within harsh conditions. What happens when adaptation becomes a kind of life? If you enjoy slow historical explorations, please like this. Subscribe so you know when new stories come. But more importantly, if you're listening from somewhere, comment.
Tell me where you are in the world. I read every comment you leave.
It means something to me to know.
Someone is here with me right now.
Now dim your lights if you can. Get comfortable in your bed or settle on your couch. Let your shoulders relax down. Let your breathing become steady and calm.
We're about to step into a winter forest. There is no rush for us, no urgency waiting for us here.
Just the quiet progression of learning. One person understanding patterns around them. The forest you're entering is dense with snow. The trees stand very close together. Their branches bend under the weight. Snow rests on every single surface. It collects in spaces between branches. It fills the small ground depressions. It creates a world that's white. Dark wood shows through where branches are thick. The world in this forest is quiet. Sound doesn't travel the same way here. In cold air, it moves differently. It travels shorter distances than usual. The air itself absorbs sounds quickly. A person could shout in the forest, but the sound might barely reach far. The snow absorbs sound completely. The cold holds sound very close. You move carefully through this space. Your feet find the snow below. Each step creates a soft sound, a quiet crunch beneath your feet.
You notice this because everything's silent.
You begin to understand something new. In a place this quiet, all sounds matter. There are so few of them. Your ears become more attentive naturally. They register each small noise you hear. Is this sound something important? Is it part of the forest? Is it something else entirely? Is it wind in the branches?
Is it movement of a living thing?
You're beginning to learn sounds language.
You're learning without even realizing it.
The forest teaches you through listening.
The air is cold in a way.
Your body's still becoming familiar with it. When you breathe, you see your breath. It forms small clouds in front of you. Then it dissolves into the cold. Your lungs feel the cold, sharp edge. Each time you inhale, you feel it. Not painfully, but distinctly. You're aware of temperature moving through you.
You notice it calmly.
You don't fight it at all.
You simply observe it.
The way you'd observe anything present. Your cloak wraps around your shoulders. The wool is rough and thick. It was made for weather like this. The fibers trap air inside. Air holds warmth very effectively. You begin to understand this truth. Where the cloak fits close to you, it's warmer. Where it hangs loose, cold reaches you. You adjust it gradually as you move. You're learning through doing, not thinking. Your fingers are becoming somewhat stiff.
You can still move them.
But flexibility diminishes as time passes. The cold affects your hands first. It affects hands before other parts. Your hands are very important.
You need them to function.
To touch things and explore. So you flex them occasionally. You're trying to maintain feeling in them. You tuck them in your cloak sometimes. They touch your body and get warm. Then you pull them out again. You need them to navigate. Beneath your boots, the ground is solid. Frost has locked everything in place. The earth beneath snow is hard.
Hard as stone, truly.
You understand this intuitively now. If you tried to dig here, nothing.
Your hands would make little progress.
The ground refuses to yield.
Everything is frozen solid completely. Everything is locked in place.
This is winter's condition in this place. The world has solidified around you. It waits beneath the snow and cold. You pause for a moment.
Simply listen to the forest.
The forest is quiet but not empty.
There are sounds if you listen.
The distant creak of branches.
The occasional whisper of wind.
Wind moving through the higher reaches. The soft, settling sound of snow.
Barely perceptible to most ears.
As if the world's moving into itself. The sound of your own breathing. You listen to these sounds a moment.
You don't interpret them as danger. You don't assess any threat at all. You're simply present with the sounds.
The way you'd be present with anything natural around you. The light in the forest is strange. It's uniform and without variation. Snow reflects what little light exists. The sky above is covered with clouds.
This cloud cover creates light. Light that comes from nowhere and everywhere. There are no sharp shadows here. Everything is softly illuminated. Everything is visible but not bright.
You can see enough to navigate.
But the light carries a gentle quality.
Nothing is harsh at all. Everything is muted by cold and cloud. Muted by the snow covering everything. You continue moving forward steadily, not with urgency or pressure, simply with steady, measured pace. Someone who understands that movement creates heat. Your body generates warmth when you move. When you sit still, cold takes warmth. So you keep moving forward.
But you're not rushing at all.
There is no prize for speed.
There's only the understanding.
Steady movement is better than stillness. Time passes in a way that's hard to measure. You notice the light has shifted. The sun, though you can't see it, moves. Heavy clouds block the direct sunlight. The sun is moving across the sky. The day is progressing toward afternoon. Winter days are very short. The light won't hold very long. You understand this without being told. You simply feel it in the light. It carries a sense of transition. Evening is already starting to arrive, even though afternoon's not finished yet.
You begin to look for shelter.
This is not an urgent search. You've walked long enough to understand. You need to settle before darkness. Darkness in a dense forest is truly dark. It offers no visibility at all. It offers no sense of safety. You can't see what's around you. So you look but calmly. You understand you'll find something adequate. You always do, you've learned. The forest has already taught you. You will find shelter when you need it. The forest begins to change slightly. You move deeper into it slowly. The trees grow denser here. The branches hang much lower. They're weighed down by snow. The spaces between trees get tighter. This density offers real protection. Protection from the constant wind. You understand this now through experience. Wind moves above and around tree, but down at ground level it's blocked. The thick growth of trees stops it. You feel the difference immediately. When you enter the denser areas, the air seems less harsh now. Against your face it feels gentler. The wind that was pressing against you has been diverted by the forest. You notice a fallen log. It is massive and ancient, the kind of tree that lived for decades, perhaps a century before falling. Snow has accumulated on top of it, creating a thick white coating. Beneath it, where the weight presses down, a hollow space has formed.
The snow here is shallower.
The log has displaced the snow. You crouch down slowly to examine it. This space is worth careful inspection. The ground beneath the log is frozen. It's solid and unyielding. The log itself is thick. The space beneath offers real protection. You reach in and touch the earth.
You feel how hard it is.
Good earth, you understand.
Not soft, not muddy at all.
something that will support your weight. It won't collapse under you. You look at the log's angles, understanding how it sits against the ground. You can see where to fit yourself.
You'll have shelter from the wind.
You begin to gather materials. Small branches scattered across the forest floor. They offer themselves to you.
You select ones that are dry, ones that don't bend easily.
You collect them slowly and deliberately, making small piles nearby to gather. You gather pine needles too, the ones that have collected beneath branches. They're protected from snow up there. These needles are dry and warm, surprisingly warm to the touch. They'll provide insulation between you and the frozen ground.
This work is not rushed.
You move methodically forward, bringing materials to your chosen shelter. You understand without words, without anyone teaching you explicitly. That preparing shelter properly now means more comfort later on. You layer the branches first, creating a base structure underneath. These larger pieces form a platform. They raise you above the ground,
above direct contact with frozen earth.
Then you layer the pine needles, spreading them to create a cushion. The needles compress beneath your fingers. Over this you arrange small branches, creating an organized surface to lie on. You test the space by lying down. Your head enters first carefully. It fits into the hollow with just enough room. Your shoulders take up most of the width. The log presses gently against your back. It provides support and wind protection. You position yourself and adjust slightly. This is the position for the night. You emerge again satisfied completely.
This space will work for you.
It will provide what you need. As you make final adjustments, the light continues to fade away. The quality of the light shifts again. It becomes tinged with blue. This is the sign that evening's arriving. The direct light of day is becoming angled light approaching.
Soon it will be nearly gone.
You work a little faster now,
but still very calmly.
Finishing the preparation of your shelter, you understand that darkness is approaching. You want everything completely ready. You pull your cloak more tightly.
You settle into your space.
You arrange yourself carefully. Your back against the log, your body curled slightly for warmth, your arms tucked against your chest, your hands beneath your cloak's folds. They receive warmth from your body. Your legs are positioned carefully. They fit the length of the space.
It's not comfortable like a bed, but it is functional.
It is real shelter. It protects you from the wind. Outside the shelter, darkness is arriving. You can feel it coming before you can even see it.
The light diminishes steadily.
The shapes around you become less distinct. Inside your space beneath the log, you are contained and held. The narrow space holds you. The log above provides a ceiling. The earth beneath, padded with needles and branches, provides a floor to rest on. The opening faces slightly away from where wind usually comes.
This is something you're learning.
Through experience with the elements, you notice which direction the wind comes from, and you position yourself accordingly. As full darkness settles completely,
you lie very quietly.
Your body is cooling slowly. From the activity of gathering and arranging, your breathing gradually becomes steadier. It becomes slower and more calm.
You're beginning to settle into the night.
Outside, the forest continues. It's quiet and continues to exist. The wind moves through the branches, making different sounds at different heights.
At the top of the tallest tree,
it whistles with a high sound.
Lower down, it makes a rushing sound. At ground level where you are,
it's quieter, deflected by the growth. You listen to the wind. This is something you're learning.
The wind is not constant.
It gusts and falls away. It builds in intensity, then it quiets down again. During a gust, you feel pressure against your shelter, testing the spaces, testing the places you've closed off.
Then the gust passes away. The pressure eases slowly.
You understand that your shelter will hold. You've built it carefully. The wind is strong, yes,
but you are protected. Hours pass in the way. That winter nights pass. Slowly, deeply, persistently. The darkness is nearly complete. There is no light at all. No stars are visible.
No moon breaks through the clouds. Everything is darkness, complete darkness. And yet you remain calm. You have made shelter. You are protected from the wind. Your body is conserving heat. This is sufficient. This is truly enough. The cold seeps in gradually.
But not painfully.
You shift position occasionally to maintain circulation through your body, to keep different parts from stiffening.
But mostly you remain still.
Stillness conserves your heat. You understand this through experience. Movement creates heat in your body.
But once you're sheltered,
Stillness preserves it very well. The two principles work together.
you move to find shelter.
Now you are still to maintain it. There is a quality to silence. The silence of a winter night. It is not empty silence. It is full of sound. It contains the sounds of the forest adjusting to darkness, the occasional settling of snow, which carries a soft whisper, the distant creak of trees,
Moving with the wind.
your own breathing in the shelter, the subtle sounds of your body.
As you shift slightly, all of these things exist.
In the darkness all around.
You do not need to see them. They are simply present.
At some point deep in the night, perhaps several hours after darkness came,
You become aware of something.
your body has adjusted. You are not fighting the cold. You are existing within it. Your warmth is contained in the space.
Around your body in the shelter.
The cold is held back by your shelter, held back by your wool cloak, held back by layers of air that your clothing traps against you.
This balance is the night.
This is survival itself,
Not dramatic in any way.
not urgent or intense.
Simply this balanced state. Hour after hour after hour. As the night deepens further.
Your thoughts become quieter. The worries that exist in daylight begin to soften and fade.
There is nothing to do.
Except to lie here and remain. The night will pass. The morning will come. For now you exist.
You exist in this shelter. You exist in this darkness. You exist in this cold.
You exist in this balance. Before the morning arrives, before light starts to approach, you drift into sleep. Not the sleep of exhaustion, not the sudden sleep of tiredness, the gradual sleep of someone calm. Your breathing deepens very slowly. Your body surrenders to rest. The night continues around you.
But you're no longer present.
Not fully present to experience it. You are sleeping now, and the shelter holds you. The shelter holds you through the night. The log rests against your back. The earth beneath you padded with needles and branches.
Supports your body.
The cold is held at a distance, held back by the barrier.
The barrier of wool and air. And the warmth of your body.
Accumulated warmth from your own self. When awareness returns, it's gentle. It is not sudden. Your eyes open very slowly.
For a moment you don't know. You don't know where you are. But the memory arrives. The forest. The shelter.
The night you've spent in this place. You lie still for a moment. You assess your body. Can you move your fingers?
Can you wiggle your toes?
Can you sense where warmth remains? Can you feel where cold came in? Your back is warm. It was pressed against the log. Your front is colder. It was facing the shelter opening.
Your fingers are stiff, but still they work.
Your legs are stiff too, but movement returns when you shift. Your body has survived the night. This is what matters. Everything else is secondary. The light outside is very faint. The pre-dawn grey is here. The sun has not risen,
but it is beginning to approach.
Soon light will return to the forest. For now it is still dark. Just a hint of grey, creeping in at the world's edges.
You sit up very slowly.
This movement is a negotiation with your body. Each part needs a moment. It needs to understand that it's being called to move. You emerge from your shelter slowly. Your shoulders first come out.
Then your torso emerges.
Then your legs come out. The cold air outside is sharper, much sharper than inside.
You feel the difference right away.
The shelter has held the warmth. The outside air has held the cold. Now you are exposed to it. You stand and your legs remember. They remember how to support you. They are stiff, but they work. You begin to move slowly, moving very deliberately forward, allowing your body to warm again. You flex your arms slowly. You flex your legs. You flex your fingers. Movement begins to generate heat.
Your body remembers this.
It begins to produce warmth. The warmth comes from moving. The forest around you is dark, still mostly dark and very quiet.
But you can hear the sounds.
The sounds of night preparing to end. The birds are beginning to stir.
Not singing yet at all.
Just small movements of their bodies.
A flutter of wings. The sounds of the forest preparing for day to arrive. You understand what this is.
This is the transition time.
Night is ending.
Day is approaching.
But you are not rushed.
This transition is gradual, and you are part of it. You gather wood for a fire. This is something you're learning. Fire provides warmth and heat, but it requires fuel. You gather small branches, dry ones that are protected from the falling snow. You gather larger pieces too. You understand that fire needs different sizes. The small pieces ignite easily.
The larger pieces burn longer.
They provide sustained and steady heat. You're learning the logic of fire. Through trial and through experience, making fire is more difficult than you might expect. Your hands are stiff, still somewhat clumsy from the night. The materials are dry enough.
But finding the spark takes time.
Takes work to ignite them.
You have matches remaining.
A precious resource you're rationing. You strike one with care, with deliberate, careful movements.
You protect it from the wind.
Protect it with your body. The flame catches and ignites. You guide it towards small pieces, the smallest, driest pieces of wood. They catch the flame. Small flames appear and grow.
They're orange and alive.
You feed the fire gradually, adding larger pieces as it grows. Heat begins to radiate from it.
Real heat reaches you.
Warmth that extends from a distance. You position yourself carefully. You're where you can receive warmth.
But not too close.
Too close would be dangerous. Fire can hurt you, as well as help you. You keep a careful distance, allowing the heat to warm you, without burning you. As the fire grows larger, the light around it grows too. The forest becomes illuminated by your fire. Instead of approaching dawn's light, you can see the area now, more clearly than before. The shapes of the trees, the shadows cast by branches.
The snow covering everything. All of this is visible in the light of your fire.
You warm your hands by the fire. You allow feeling to return. The sensation is not always pleasant as the cold releases its hold. There is sometimes a slight pain, a tingling as sensation returns.
But this is normal.
This is the process of recovery. Your hands remember their function.
They remember as they warm.
You have some plant matter.
You've gathered it over many days.
It is not very much. It won't sustain you long.
But it provides something.
You chew it slowly, allowing your body to extract what nutrition exists. The act of eating, even this small amount, is grounding to your mind.
It reminds your body
that it's still functioning,
that it's still deserving of care. As the light grows stronger,
the fire becomes less necessary. The sun is approaching. Soon it will rise above the horizon. When this happens, the fire won't be your primary light.
But for now,
in this transition time, the fire is company. It is warmth. It is something to tend to. You sit beside your fire and watch the forest coming alive. The birds become more active. You hear them moving. moving through the branches. You hear their calls,
though they are not loud.
not the loud calls of warmer months. The calls in winter are quiet, more subdued and reserved. The animals are conserving energy, just as you are.
Just as everything in this place, everything in this cold place is doing.
The quality of light shifts.
Again, the light is changing.
The grey of pre-dawn becomes the grey of actual dawn. The sun is rising now, though it's still below the horizon. Its light is touching the upper parts
of the sky,
creating gradually increasing illumination. The forest is being revealed in stages very slowly. First, the tallest branches become visible.
Then progressively lower and lower. Lower levels of the forest become clear.
They become distinct and visible. You let your fire die.
You do this gradually.
There is no hurry at all. You add no new wood, no new fuel to the fire. The flames burn themselves out. The coals continue to glow. They continue to radiate warmth. But the fire itself is diminishing. Eventually it will be gone.
But for now,
in this transition time, it provides comfort and warmth. The sun finally appears, just the top of it at first.
Then more and more of it.
Its light is weak in winter.
But it is light.
It is warmth, or at least the promise of warmth. The shadows in the forest become distinct. The shapes of trees become clearer.
Everything is being revealed.
Everything is being revealed in greater detail.
You stand and begin to move.
The day is arriving now. You have survived the night. You have found shelter. You have found fire. You have maintained yourself through darkness, through the long darkness of the night. Now the day is beginning.
You don't know what it will bring, but you know that you can continue.
You have learned this through experience. You move through the forest slowly, more slowly than on other days. You are still becoming warm. You are still assessing your body, understanding what survived the night intact, understanding what requires attention.
You move with the awareness that you are still in recovery.
The night took something from you, and the morning is about returning it. As you move forward, you notice things about the forest, things you didn't see before, things you didn't see in pre-dawn light. The way snow clings to branches. Different types of branches hold snow differently. Some trees hold heavy loads. Others have shed their snow. The differences are subtle,
but they are there.
You are learning to read them.
They will tell you things
about exposure to wind, about the weight branches are bearing, about the conditions in different parts. You pause occasionally to observe.
Not because you're in danger.
Simply because observing is your rhythm. Your rhythm now includes observation. You look at the ground. You notice animal tracks, tracks you didn't see yesterday. A larger animal than rabbits. Deer, perhaps. Or another large creature. The tracks tell a story of movement and travel, where the animal was going,
how urgently it was moving.
You are learning to read stories, stories written in snow. The morning continues its progression.
The sun climbs higher, though still not very high.
Winter sun follows a low arc. It will never be directly overhead.
But it is higher than at dawn.
The light is slightly stronger. The shadows are slightly less intense. This is the direction winter days move, towards slightly more light, towards slightly more warmth, then slowly back toward darkness and cold. You find yourself in a grove of dense trees where the snow hasn't accumulated as deeply. The wind has not penetrated here, not penetrated as thoroughly. The space feels slightly warmer. You pause here for a moment, not for shelter or safety, simply because your body wants rest. You sit on a fallen log, your back against a tree,
and allow yourself to simply be.
Simply be present. Around you, the forest continues. Its quiet existence continues. You are beginning to understand. The forest is not hostile. It is not trying to harm you. It is simply itself. It is cold, yes, but it is indifferently cold. The snow falls without intention. The wind moves without purpose directed at you. The night arrives without trying
Trying to kill you.
These are simply conditions, simply the conditions of this place. Your task is to understand these conditions,
And to adapt to them. Not to fight them. Not to resist them. Simply to exist within them.
Hours pass, as winter days pass. The sun moves across the sky. Without much energy or urgency, the shadows shift slightly. The light changes subtly. But the quality of the day remains the same.
Cold.
Quiet. Slow progression toward evening. You move through the forest.
As the day goes on.
You are learning patterns. Where the wind is strongest.
At different times of day.
Where shelter is easiest to find. Where food is more available. Where water is accessible, even in winter. These understandings accumulate. Each time you walk through different parts of the forest, you learn something new. The forest is teaching you its logic. As afternoon settles in, you return to your shelter.
The one you created yesterday.
It is still intact.
The snow has shifted slightly.
But the structure remains.
You add to it.
Gathering more materials, improving the insulation. You understand now how to make the space better, more comfortable and secure. You have learned through one night.
One night of experience.
Now you apply that knowledge.
The work is familiar now.
Gathering branches, collecting needles, arranging them carefully. Each action is more efficient.
More efficient because you've done it.
You understand the logic now. The logic of what you're doing. You are not trying anything new. You are refining what you've learned. This refinement is important. Mastery doesn't come from doing new things. It comes from doing something familiar, doing it with increasing skill. As evening arrives again, darkness begins to settle down. You position yourself in your shelter. For a second night's sleep, you are less anxious now, much less anxious than before. Your body remembers yesterday. It remembers that it survived. Your shelter held you. Your fire provided warmth. You ate something.
You slept.
You woke up alive. These are facts.
They give you confidence. Not arrogance, just quiet confidence.
The confidence of someone
who has done something once. Who knows they can do it again? The second night arrives.
The sky darkens around you. The stars become visible. Where they break through the clouds, the wind cycles through the forest. The temperature drops as night settles.
But you are prepared.
You are sheltered. You are calm. And as you settle into darkness, you understand something new, something that wasn't available yesterday.
This is survivable. This cold is survivable. This wilderness is survivable. This solitude is survivable.
It is survivable because
humans have learned to adapt.
Because your body knows how to conserve heat.
Because you can learn
from experience and apply it.
These are real facts.
They are grounding. You drift towards sleep more easily than before. Your body is tired. Tired from walking.
Tired from gathering.
Tired from maintaining yourself. Your mind is quieter, much quieter than last night, because you have evidence that you will survive. The night settles around you, and you receive it. You receive it without resistance. Days begin to blur together. They blur into a rhythm. Morning comes with slow warming. Morning comes with movement.
Movement that generates heat.
Gathering happens as the day progresses. You move through the forest, learning to read the signs it leaves behind. You find plants that are edible.
You discover where water is.
Water beneath the ice, water beneath the streams. You learn to move quietly through the forest, minimizing the sounds you make. Your body begins to change. The softness of your past life begins to fade. It gives way to hardness, the hardness required in this place. Your hands develop calluses from gathering wood. Your legs become stronger. from constant movement. Your breathing becomes more efficient in the cold air. Your face becomes weathered by wind and cold.
But these are not problems. These are adaptations.
Your body is learning. You begin to understand patterns. The patterns of the forest, where the wind is strongest,
At different times of day,
where shelter is easiest, where food is available, where water is accessible. These understandings accumulate. Each day teaches you something. Each night reinforces it. One evening as you prepare your shelter, you pause and realize something. You are not merely surviving.
you are beginning to understand.
The difference is subtle.
But it is significant.
Surviving means you're fighting against the conditions.
Understanding means you're working with them.
You are beginning to move. You are beginning to move.
Move with the forest's rhythm, rather than against it.
Your shelter building becomes sophisticated, more sophisticated and refined. You understand different locations.
The advantages of different places.
You learn how to position yourself to receive heat from earth. While being protected from wind, you gather insulation efficiently. Each shelter is better
Better than the last one, because you are learning.
You are learning from experience. The fire building becomes easier. You understand how to prepare wood so it catches more readily. You know how to manage size, how to make it burn efficiently.
You are not wasteful,
You understand that resources are limited.
and you use them carefully. You begin to notice animals, other animals in the forest, not as threats to you,
Simply as fellow inhabitants, you see tracks more frequently.
and understand them better.
You recognize differences between tracks of larger animals and tracks of smaller ones.
You see evidence of birds,
You become aware that the forest is alive,
alive with movement.
even in winter. The forest is not empty, it is full of life, simply operating at a different pace, different than summer life.
One day you glimpse a deer,
In the distance from you, it has not seen you,
or it has seen you.
and determined you're not a threat. It moves through the forest with the grace of an animal that belongs there. You watch it for a moment, understanding something unspoken.
You are there. You are becoming part of this place, not as a human intruding, but as a being.
A being learning to exist within the forest's logic. The weeks begin to accumulate. Your initial shock at the conditions begins to fade away. What seemed harsh now seems normal. The cold that was nearly unbearable
At the very first,
now feels like simply.
simply the condition of existing here.
The darkness is no longer threatening. It is simply the rhythm, the day and night cycle. They cycle in their slow progression, their slow winter progression. You establish areas where you spend time, places where shelter is easy, places where fire is manageable, places where food is more available.
You move in patterns,
Not random patterns at all,
but deliberate ones.
taking advantage of what you've learned.
You know where to be at different times.
And you move accordingly. Your thinking begins to shift too. The urgency of the first days begins to settle into stability. You are not assessing danger, not constantly assessing it. You are moving through the forest with awareness of condition, but this awareness is calm. It is not anxious. It is simply attention. One evening as you settle into your shelter for another night, you realize something important. You are not tracking days. You do not know how many nights.
How many nights you've spent here?
The accumulation has lost distinction. Each day flows into the next. Each night follows. The rhythm has become your time, not calendar time from your past, but natural time, the time of the forest.
The time of cold and warmth, darkness and light.
Hunger and satiation, and as you settle into sleep,
You feel something.
something you haven't felt in a long time.
Peace.
Not the peace of comfort, not the peace of ease, But the peace of understanding,
You understand now how to exist here,
not perfectly,
not without difficulty, but with fundamental knowledge that it is possible, that humans are capable, that adaptation is real.
the winter continues, the cold remains constant, the snow persists.
But you have changed. Your body has changed. Your mind has changed.
Your understanding has changed.
You are no longer the person who arrived weeks ago,
Uncertain and overwhelmed, you are becoming someone.
someone who understands, who reads the forest, who moves with purpose.
You consider what the forest has taught you, not through explicit instruction, but through living.
Living within its conditions,
Lessons about patience,
attention, adaptation,
acceptance, resilience. Lessons about what humans are capable. Lessons about surviving.
lessons about living. The difference between the two.
The forest has become a teacher through the simple process. The simple process of existing within its logic. One evening you sit beside your carefully maintained fire and think about other people who experience similar situations. Medieval hunters forced to winter in wild places, travelers caught in unexpected cold, people throughout history who adapted to harsh conditions.
Realizes that knowledge about how to survive,
Comes from countless people who learn through necessity, begins to feel connected to a long lineage, a lineage of people who adapted to harsh conditions.
This creates a sense
of participating in something larger.
than individual survival.
The character has clearly become competent in this environment.
Not perfect, not without challenges, but genuinely competent.
Shelter is built quickly and well. Fire is managed efficiently. Food is found regularly. Movement through forest is confident.
Body has adapted.
Understanding is deep. This competence is described without pride or drama, simply as factual reality.
The character reaches a state.
of genuine acceptance.
The forest is accepted.
The cold is accepted.
The solitude is accepted. This is no longer a situation to endure,
But a reality to exist within. Peace arrives not from circumstances changing.
but from the internal shift.
The shift toward acceptance.
Character is no longer wishing to be elsewhere.
No longer counting days until relief comes. They are fully present.
In the reality
of their existence. The character settles into rhythm.
The established rhythm. Seasons begin to show.
Real signs of change. Winter is persistent.
But the character knows that change is coming.
The cycles continue.
Cycles of day and night.
Hunting and gathering. Shelter building and maintenance. The character understands now. These cycles will continue.
They are sustainable.
They can be maintained. The forest is no longer foreign. It is home in the way that any place becomes home through time, through practice and time. Character sits in shelter on a quiet evening and reflects on the journey. From first arrival to now, thinks about how much
has changed.
Not the circumstances, but the person. Recognizes they have learned things that cannot be unlearned. The knowledge of how to survive, how to adapt, how to find peace in difficulty.
These are now part of them. The character is no longer the same person who arrived.
Winter begins to show signs
of ending.
The days are longer. The light is stronger. The temperature shifts.
Not dramatically, but noticeably.
Character observes these changes.
Without urgency, without pressure.
Whether spring will bring change to their situation.
Or whether they continue
Continue in the forest.
The character has adapted.
The future is unknown, but not feared. The character is ready, ready for whatever comes. The narrative begins to dissolve.
There is no dramatic ending.
Because the story doesn't end. The character will continue. Continue in the forest, or move elsewhere. But adaptation continues. The knowledge that has been gained will persist and remain. The person has been transformed. The forest has completed teaching, but teaching is ongoing.
There is no climax.
Because reality doesn't climax. It simply continues. The night settles fully now, wrapping the forest in its deep, quiet stillness.
And within your shelter, the character remains.
Their breath is slow.
Their body is warm.
Their presence is fading, fading gently into the rhythm.
The rhythm of the world.
And as the cold continues, its patient watch.
They rest beside it, no longer resisting,
No longer questioning.
simply existing.
Existing within the balance. The balance they have learned. Sleep comes lightly, comes softly,
Without force.
The forest remains unchanged, endless in the character.
For this moment remains within it.
The night deepens around them, and the world seems to soften,
Softens at its edges, as if the forest itself
is settling into a quieter version of its endless rhythm. Their breathing slows further. Each inhale is gentle. Each exhale fades into the cold air.
without urgency,
The shelter holds them,
in its small, steady embrace.
and for the first time, there is no need to adjust.
No need to listen. No need to listen for sounds. Everything feels still,
The weight of the past days drifts further away,
not gone, but softened.
like footsteps gradually covered by falling snow. They no longer trace every path.
No longer measure every choice,
Instead, they rest. They rest within what they've learned,
letting it carry them.
without effort. Outside, the forest continues its quiet existence, branches holding snow, wind moving gently between them, distant life shifting in ways that no longer demand attention. It all blends together now. Their body relaxes more deeply, their thoughts slow. The cold remains.
But it no longer feels sharp.
It simply exists, part of the world around them, no longer pressing.
No longer urgent,
They drift gently,
as if carried.
carried by the same quiet rhythm that
Moves through the trees.
through the snow, through everything surrounding them.
And in that stillness,
There is nothing more
they need to do.
nothing more they need to hold, just rest, just the gentle continuation of being alive,
Being alive in this place.
in this moment, in this forest
This forest that has become their home. Sweet dreams.